So in college, especially kids who are have been A students their whole life, there's a problem with that as well. Everywhere you go, there's a problem, and you need to be aware of it. So when you're an A student and you're like class president, things like that, your whole life, you have a stable foundation. The problem with that is it's too comfortable. You don't venture out. So, for example, I have a friend named Alex Raynon. He's a high school friend. I've known him since my freshman year in Spanish class of high school. We became good friends. I followed him into Pacific. He's always been the top student, right? And he parties. A lot of people know him throughout high school. And then going into college, here's the problem. It's bigger. It's not just Stockton. It's people from all different parts of the world and country. Now, when we went to college, Alex was not the top. He's not the top dog anymore because he got safe. He felt safe in his environment. He didn't venture out. Right. So every time we'd be at parties, I'm like, man, get away from me. You know what I mean? So I'll do my own thing because I don't like people like that holding me back. Like, come here where it's comfortable for me. I like to be outside of my comfort zone. And this is another example. My Pacific admissions. So so actually people like that I like to break down their foundation. If you're comfortable, I break down your foundation. So what happens when that happens? You have to ask for help. You're not asking for help, right? So they get comfortable and they're not asking for help. They're like, I like Greek life over there, but I'm too scared to go over there. They're not asking for help. So I break down their foundation. Now they have to, because they have no foundation, none. Not even what they had before. They have zero foundation. When you're at zero, you struggle. You start asking everybody for help, and that's what I want. Get used to asking people for help. So I do this a lot to people who think they have a strong foundation. They think that they do. I attack their foundation all the time, all day long, to make sure um, they know what a strong foundation is. If it's flimsy, you know it's not a strong foundation. You have to go ask for help. So I attack their foundations all day long. Here's another example. When I went my Pacific admissions, I went after their foundation, right? I put in my self portrait when, um, so you're not supposed to give your a photograph of yourself. Ivy Leagues, they do interviews, so it just depends on your school. But my school, you're not supposed to send a photo of yourself. Well, I sent in a drawing. It's not the same thing. So I shook up their foundation. It's like, what do you think now? Of course, they don't care. They're like, oh, that's a top student. He just challenged us. It's like, no, you're in. You're for sure in. Because that would work at an Ivy League. Um, Admission officers, they're not the CIA. They're not going to crack down on you. If you do something cute and adorable like that, they're like, oh, you're so in. You're so in. Because that's something rare kind of thinking. So I knew that. I'm like, they're gonna think it's cute and adorable, and I know I'm in. What I didn't know is they try to shake up my foundation. I wasn't prepared for that. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not, I ex- I expected to get expelled. Honestly, I'm not even joking. When coupled with my grades and transferring in 1 year and my essay being strong, I expected to be expelled. I mean, like attention, not expelled, but like get a lot of attention. I expected it, but when it didn't happen, I'm like, okay, okay. At least I'm in. At least I'm into the university, and I know they saw me. You know, like I that's how I got in, because you saw what I did. Here's the funny part. What I didn't expect is they were poking and prodding me the whole time at Pacific. They were treating me like a star, and I'm not used to that, right? I expected them to do something, um, and then when they didn't do it, I'm like, okay, they're not gonna do it, but they start doing it like hush hush, um, during my school year, and I'm like, come on, man. Like you said I'm gonna come in and just be a student. You're gonna treat me like a star now? I don't know how. I don't know how. So teach me how. And they were like, no, we're not saying anything, man. We're not saying anything. And I'm like, I have to figure this out all on my own. Why would you do this? Why? Why? I was like that. I'm like, Dan Cass and Lucinda, someone throw me a bone. I'm starving. Help me. I'm all reaching for help, like help, someone help me. I'm a genius without any guidance. And they're like, nope, we're not saying anything, man. Pranksters, man. These admission officers are pranksters, man. They be pranking me so bad, man. I'm like, fine. If you're not gonna help me, I'll do this all myself. They're like, yep, that's the point. They played me so bad, man. So bad. But it's alright. But yeah, I was asking for a bone. I'm like, help me out. Like, I'm 19 years old. I don't know. No one asked me the tough questions. No one asked me, how would I change the world? Beauty pageant questions. I'm not ready for those questions. I haven't prepared for those questions. So they're like, we know you're a genius. We know you're a genius. We know what you did. That's why you're in. Let's see what you got. So I'm like, you're not even gonna help me? Oh man, what a prank. What a prank. I'm like, thumbs up to the prank, man. The prank masters, my art professors, thumbs up for the prank, man. Y'all got me bad for 3 years, so bad. I was like this all 3 years. Someone help me, someone help me. And they're like, we don't see anything. We don't. Do you see anything? Like, Lucinda, do you see anything? Dan's like, nope, I don't see anything. Like, Brett, do you see anything? He's like, nope. Like, do you see a struggling student? Nope, I see a genius. I see a genius. I don't see a struggling student. I'm like, okay. That's how y'all want to play me, huh? That's how y'all want to play me. They played me so bad. But I played them, though. Because I know I'm a favorite. Because when you're a favorite child, you get away with everything. So I'm like, oh, you want to play me, huh? You want to play me. I know I'm the favorite. I know what I did. That's how I got in. I know I'm the favorite. So watch this. For the final for the seniors, you have to create at least 12 artworks. I painted one large one. We were pranking each other all 3 years, man. That's what's up. That's why the art department was so fun. We were just pranking each other because we knew, right? They were like, men, we know who you are. I'm like, okay, but do you know what I can do? But do you know what I can do? So they're like, a lot of times when I'm working hard on a project, I do work hard. I'm a hard I work really hard. I'm really hard on myself, but it's a hard major. So they were like, hey man, it's a hard major, and we know he's a genius, so he thinks a lot deeper than other students. So they're like, nah, give him some leeway. So when I asked for, can I just turn in one painting, and just like two, three smaller ones, Dan Captures was like, yeah, for sure, man. You know who you are. You know who you are. So I played the system. We were just having fun. We are like, oh yeah, for sure. We just want to see what you can do. So I played the system too, where I'm like, yo, I need more time, or I need leeway here. I need some leniency, because my projects are more deeper than you think. So yeah, so it was fun. It was fun. It was yeah. It was one of those things where we played each other. But that's one of those things where I challenged their foundation, and then they challenged my foundation back. And you see how they could have made me a star. They could have went public and said, "Hey, Min's a genius, straight up, straight up. That kid's a genius." They could have went that way, but they weren't ready for it. You see how I shook up their foundation, and they weren't ready. And then they went back at me. They're like, "Oh, you want to play us, huh? You want to play us? We're gonna get back at you. Too. We're not gonna help you at all." I was like this, man. I was like this. They made me look like an idiot. I'm like, all 3 years. I'm not even lying. I switched majors. I was so struggling. I switched majors back and forth to sports science and then back. They got me, man. They got me so bad. But so what the point I'm trying to make is, they weren't ready and I wasn't ready. So um the foundation you think you have, people will challenge that. They're going to challenge it. And you have to be prepared to handle it. Um, the lighting's being weird. You need to be prepared to handle it, or else you struggle. And it's okay to struggle at the beginning, but you need to pick up on it, and not struggle throughout your whole life. Um, so the point I'm trying to make is like, people like Alex, and people who have been class president their whole lives and things like that, people are going to challenge your foundation. And some might do it better than others. And you're gonna struggle. That's a fact. If you're not prepared for it, you will struggle. Even if you're prepared for it, even like me, um, I felt like I was ready, but then when it happens, oh man, it's different when you're there and it happens. It's way different. So it's a fact that you will struggle. It's just the amount of time you struggle. You don't want to struggle for 3 years. You want to struggle for like a week, and then get back to your groove, get back to your confidence of why you got accepted in the first place. So that's advice for anyone in intern college. Challenge them. Challenge the admissions officers. Challenge them. See how knowledgeable they are of their students, because every student come in, they challenge them all the time, so they're kind of used to it. So you come at them a different way, they'll be like, whoa, right? They're ready for it, but man, you'd be surprised. It's one of those things. Even though you're ready for it, when a kid comes at you at a different way, it still catches you off guard. It still catches you off guard. So that's my advice for high school students going into college. Challenge them. Make sure you challenge them, because they are for sure challenging you. So you want to challenge them back, politely. Politely, be polite about it. what I mean by polite is don't go for people's jobs. Like, I'm doing this to go after your job. No, you're doing this to get into college. That's it. Just stay in your composition. You're just a student and you're just having fun and you're just trying to get in. That's it. You're not going after anyone's job. Because you're not qualified. No matter how, even if you think that you are, you're not. How you're qualified is experience. Um, so that's the advice for college, high school students going into college. Make sure you challenge them because they are challenging you. Taking the SATs and all that, they're challenging you. Writing the essay part, they're challenging you. Make sure you challenge them back. Um, it's like tennis. You need someone to go back and forth with ideas. They want to see if you can handle the challenge, if you can challenge back. And then second, what is that challenge? Well, they're shaking up your foundation. That's what that challenge means. What they're saying is, we're going to shake up your foundation and let's see if you can thrive. Or you get caught up in the testing and then you're not yourself. So challenge them back. And what is the challenge? The challenge is they're shaking up your foundation. All right. And get used to that, because when you go to jobs and you hear criticism, all that's challenging your foundation. You see a lot of people, they don't handle it well. See a lot of people in Hollywood, they struggle. They hear criticism, they flake out. They hear anyone critique their films, they flake out. Spielberg, all of them. If they hear any criticism, they're like, they don't want to hear it. You don't want that. You want to hear all criticism. You want everyone to challenge your foundation so that you can grow. Break it down so you can grow stronger. You always want criticism, critiques. You want all of that challenging your foundation. You don't ever want to be like, class president and that's where I stay and I don't ask for help. Criticism, critiques, those are help. And then you want to break down your foundation. You want to just ask for more help. That's me. I'm addicted to asking for help. Addicted. So even when you're out in space, you need a foundation. You need a space station. You can't just be floating around in space. You need a space station. So you need a foundation. So with me, I'm addicted to asking for help. Addicted. Critique me, criticize me, make fun of me, prank me. I mean, don't be mean about it, but just friendly pranks. Prank me all the time. Girls can be friendly, but you can be mean. You can. I want the criticism. I want the critiques. Like, how can I be a better boy? How can I be a better student? How can I be a better Vietnamese person? How can I be a better artist? How can I be a better humanitarian? How can I be a better everything? Critique me. I want it all the time. So one thing with college students and anyone really, don't shy away from critiques and asking for help. Do not. That's the worst thing you can do. That's the worst thing you can do, is to shy away from critiques and asking for help. They're trying to break down your foundation so that you can build a better one. All right? So constantly do that. So it is like Shiva, the destroyer. Like, you constantly destroy and rebuild. Destroy and rebuild. But yeah, and lastly, yeah, just for me personally, I'm addicted to asking for help. I'm addicted to it. I love it. I'm the most annoying person. I will ask questions for hours and days. I would do that. And I take in like all the criticisms. Be mean or like be friendly about it, but you can be mean. You can be mean friendly. And you can prank me and be friendly about it and nice about it, but you can prank me. You can do all those stuff to me because those are critiques. That's what breaks me down and make me better. So I welcome it. I'm addicted to it.